I would like to share with you today's adventure to historic grounds where a fierce battle took place. Little did I know that we would find ourselves back in time reliving the battle. No, I don't mean that we found a TARDIS, but we did experience and capture things that we were not expecting. I can't believe what I've just heard in editing. It's a man's voice.
What was that?
In the shadows of 1645, on the fields of Naseby, two forces collided: Parliament's new army and the Royalists of King Charles I. The clash wasn't just for power, but was for the soul of England itself, with whispers of betrayal and the spectre of a kingdom's downfall haunting every move. What truly sparked the flames of war? Some secrets remain buried in the echoes of history and the grounds itself. This video contains two separate trips to some of the sites from the Battle of Naseby. The first day was cold and windy and seemed to be an innocent visit, until we got home and discovered something that left us scratching our heads and speechless. We just had to come back on another day to try and add evidence or debunk what we had discovered. Our first stop was the Cromwell Monument. This great structure was installed in 1936 and stands tall to this day. It reads, "From near this site, Oliver Cromwell led the cavalry charge, which decided the issue of the battle and ultimately that of the Civil War." Oliver Cromwell was a parliamentarian who, with others such as Sir Thomas Fairfax, managed to bring down the opposition army of King Charles I and Prince Rupert of the Rhine. The main Naseby battle was fast, lasting approximately 2 to 3 hours only. This battle was significant as it changed the course of the Civil War and thus the way the country progressed long after it. There are many witnesses on social media, online websites and in person that have shared their experiences of ghostly sightings. Voices such as a drummer boy, soldiers, musket fire sounds, and some have even caught various EVPs and photos. Stay tuned as we have our own exciting EVP evidence of a man's voice to add to this pot, which will be covered later on in this video. Until then, I would like to talk about people that have heard bangs here. I also heard a bang here on the first day.
What was that? That was right there. It's almost like we can hear the gunshots, the muskets. Is that a crow scare or someone's door?
But I'm going to debunk this one as potentially a farm's crow scarer, as we heard it again on the second visit. I am familiar with these sounds and fairly confident that it was just a shot from a farm, as it repeated a normal pattern for those.
Does anybody need any help? Now, I think that was just a normal crow scarer from the farm. Yeah, that's just like a crow scarer because it went off once and then it went off again, didn't it?
That's not to say that some of the sounds that people hear aren't related to the battle. We actually captured another bang later on, which was harder to debunk. The map picture shown on the information board here is not to be treated as a map. According to the sign, back in the day, the winning army would have been drawn to fill the width of the paper. This map-like picture was originally published 2 years after the battle, so it is to be taken with some level of caution. Some of the details might be made up, incorrect, or have bias to the winning side.
The armies and the commanders, Royalists total 10,150, 4,600 foot soldiers under Astley, and 5,000.
There is a legend that the apparition of Thomas Wentworth, the first Earl of Stafford, appeared before King Charles I before the Battle of Naseby. The apparition urged the king not to fight the battle, but instead said to head further north. Did ignoring this spirit change the outcome of the fight and the course of the country? Or was it just a dream?
See, people need to remember things like this because in the world today it seems to be repeating itself all the time.
We We will come back to this civil war in a moment, but whilst we were here in Naseby, we visited the Lion Memorial, marking locals that lost their lives in World War I and II. This lion design copies the famous lion statues in London's Trafalgar Square. Our next stop was the obelisk. The map picture mentioned earlier had a windmill marked on it, and this is where that windmill used to stand. Whilst there, the camera captured a sound of a horse, although this turned out just to be someone riding past. But we still have that EVP voice coming up soon. An obelisk is a structure such as this one, with a pyramid top. They were probably inspired by the Egyptians many years ago, then other countries started making their own. England has over 1,000 obelisks, so there are plenty to visit when you're out and about. This obelisk was placed here in 1823 to commemorate the Battle of Naseby. It stands not far from where the battle took place, so you can visit multiple key locations in one day. Next stop, Fairfax's viewpoint. This is said to be where Thomas Fairfax used the land's topography to his advantage. It must have been effective, as the parliamentarians defeated the royalists in dramatic fashion. So why did this battle take place? It is said that the parliamentarians were trying to reduce the power of the monarchy and that they wanted to gain more control that was more in line with today's democracy. The royalists wanted to retain their power. If this battle had not taken place, imagine what it would be like to live here now. There is still much debate about the truth of the fatal day of the 14th of June 1645. Many documents were written by people that weren't even present. If you're interested, there are plenty of books and online information for you to make your own mind up about what happened. We stopped briefly at Welford Reservoir, not far from Naseby. On the 14th of June 1645, when the Battle of Naseby took place, this reservoir did not exist. So it is likely that some of the action from the battle would have occurred here. This is Rupert's viewpoint, where little did we know, we were not alone.
Ah! So windy, it's blowing over.
Earlier on, we were standing at Fairfax's viewpoint. We are now looking at the viewpoint for Prince Rupert of the Rhine. When we visited the location the first time around, it was windy and much of the recorded audio is hard to hear. It wasn't until I was editing that I found we had captured a clear EVP, voice of a man, and more. I can't believe what I've just heard in editing. It's a man's voice. I would suggest listening through good headphones if you can, as that's how you can hear the words and the sounds much better. To put it all into perspective, we were looking at the board and trying to look into the distance to see the other places we had visited.
Unless there used to be another.
I noted at one point that the flagpole was missing the flag, and then the camera's microphone caught the following.
Somewhere over there we were earlier. We were somewhere over there. So there's no flagpole. Flagpole here. Could you just
What?
run
Around the road? JR?
glass?
We were just about to leave, so we were talking about our van, whose name is JR. Then the unknown man's voice can be heard.
Around the road? JR?
On closer inspection of the musket-like sounds in the video, I eventually spotted a vehicle going past just before the bangs. It could have been the car that caused the sound. Or are the soldiers still battling on? The man's voice, though, is as clear as day, saying can't run around like this. Then there's the tap, 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 or the tick, 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 sounds that are still unexplainable, and these are separate from the wind noise. They are faint and only heard through good speakers or headphones. I liken these to when soldiers would ram the musket a few times with a rod to pack it ready to fire. These sounds could be anything though. I'm certainly not going to say everything is paranormal. I remain open-minded that they may just be something else. I guess we will never find out. Then there are the other two phrases such as India or Indie something. Now Prince Rupert was partly German and he could speak it. Could it be likely that the other soldiers did too? If this was the case, the phrase could be Indi Naya, meaning in the vicinity. Prince Rupert did not die here though, but there may be a tiny sliver of a chance that he comes back here, reliving the day he was outwitted by the opposition. I slowed the recording down to see if we can hear it any clearer. See what you think this time.
Around the road? JR?
I've tried cleaning up the audio as much as I can in so many different ways, just to rule out any of our voices, but it just doesn't seem like us.
This is where the action happened. Seems so tranquil now, doesn't it? Hello? Is anyone here with us? Oh, so pretty. Does anyone need any help? Is anyone injured? Which side are you on? The Royalists or the Parliamentarians? What year is it? Can you tell me your name? Rest in peace, everyone. Let you never have a battle again. Back. So whose voice did we hear when we were here last time that said can't run around like this? So I'm currently on my own. So last time we were here there was no flag on the flagpole. Now there is a flag. Look, bird of prey. Can you see that? Is anyone here?
On our second visit back to both the battlefield and Rupert's viewpoint, we did not experience or capture any new EVPs at all. The atmosphere and weather were totally opposite, and all was peaceful this time around.
So Rupert's view. The view to the south differs today with the building of the A14 road, the communications mast next to it, and the addition of a spire to Naseby church tower. More importantly, trees, woods and enclosed hedges have been planted. The landscape of 1645 had a few parish boundary hedges and very few trees. Rupert was unable to